Constantinople's origins contradict its medieval reputation. It was conceived from scratch as a new Roman capital, and that meant building at a scale that prioritized grand public visibility over defense. This trinity of power occupied the city's heart, a monumental core visible from miles away, as seen in the physical proximity of these sites on the peninsula. The Hippodrome served as the primary anchor for Roman civic life, a stadium of such monumental scale that its surviving obelisks still dominate the plaza today. Beside it, Hagia Sophia projected the unchallengeable divine authority of the new Christian state, its massive volume dwarfing every other religious structure in the Mediterranean. Completing the triangle was the Great Palace, a sprawling labyrinth of halls, courtyards, and barracks that symbolized the emperor's absolute control over the landscape. This wasn't just city planning, it was the physical manifestation of a truly invincible Roman identity designed to be seen. Daily life followed this extroverted pattern. Citizens gathered in the massive plazas of the Arcadios and Theodosios forums to trade and debate. Early places of worship like Hagia Irene shared this focus. Its long horizontal basilica footprint was designed to accommodate massive public congregations in a single open space. The city even supported up to 40 sprawling public bathhouses, maintaining the social, water-intensive lifestyle of the old Roman world. But maintaining an open-air metropolis required a security that Byzantium could no longer guarantee. As military threats closed in, this exposed, resource-heavy design became an existential liability. To survive, the city began a radical physical mutation, shifting from public grandeur to defensive isolation. In 413 AD, the construction of the Theodosian land walls effectively turned the capital into a giant container. These three-tiered walls locked the city into a defined, defensible perimeter. Under the pressure of constant sieges, the city could no longer afford the luxury of open Roman baths. The social infrastructure of the past simply fell into disuse. Engineers repurposed the sites. By dismantling above-ground halls and sealing foundations, they created cavernous vaults for subterranean water storage. The conversion was massive. The Aetios cistern held 160,000 cubic meters, an invisible lifeline bypassing enemy blockades. Byzantium had effectively buried its Roman roots to ensure its future. Survival now meant looking inward and underground. By the 9th century, the architecture of faith had also moved away from the wide public basilicas of the early empire. Architects favored smaller, vertically stacked domes, as seen here at the Zayrek Mosque. These structures prioritized a private, vertical connection to the divine over large-scale public gathering. The city's elite followed this trend toward isolation. The open Roman villas of the past were replaced by enclosed monastic complexes and walled palaces. Within these private sanctuaries, Byzantine innovation continued. They developed sophisticated water clocks and automated machinery, but these advancements were hidden behind high walls, reserved only for the imperial court. Innovation had not stopped. It had simply become a private luxury, shielded from the public gaze. The devastating Fourth Crusade shattered this unified structural evolution in the year 1204, leaving the once great capital in utter ruins. When the Byzantines finally reclaimed the city in 1261, the empire was bankrupt. Grand building projects were no longer an option. The urban fabric began to hollow out. The population retreated into isolated neighborhood clusters, leaving massive tracts empty and overgrown. Residents lived by scavenging their own history, building smaller, hyper-defensive homes using mismatched blocks from the debris of Roman monuments. The unified Roman metropolis was replaced by a patchwork mosaic of self-contained, heavily fortified communities. By 1453, Constantinople was a structurally fractured ghost town, held together only by its ancient walls. Its skyline told the story of its decline. Ancient Roman columns stood awkwardly beside the small defensive domes of private chapels. When the Ottomans finally breached the great defensive walls, they certainly did not inherit a blank canvas to build upon. The foundations of early Ottoman Istanbul were forced to conform to the streets and ruins of this 1,100-year-old Byzantine skeleton. The long evolution from an extroverted Roman capital to an inward-looking fortress defined the physical layout of the city as we know it today.